liked. Metal Mike coming at you for the third installment of Heavy Metal Bible. Basically going over all the classics that we love of metal, thrash, speed, basic hard rock, anything I want to delve into, right? Isn't that what this is about in life? Just enjoying ourselves and talking about what we love. This is my passion. It's metal. It has been a passion of mine since I was a young boy. I love it. It has kept me going. It has kept me above ground. It keeps me banging. It keeps me fighting. I love it. Now, we're going to go into a classic. Some of you might even snub it. I've heard some reviews of this over the years that really disgust me. The very first Slayer album, Show No Mercy. People call it the cheesy cover artwork. I don't think it's cheesy at all. I think it's brutal. And when I say brutal, I mean heavy as can be. I've got a couple of shirts I'm lucky to have with this logo on it, and I just love it. I always have since day one when I seen it. Now, I picked this up many years ago. I believe I was 16 years old when I got this. Remember, there's no Rain and Blood, there's no Hell Awaits, there's no South of Heaven, there's none of these later albums. They're not out. This is out. This is what came out. Now, being a fan of Venom, and believe me, I was Venom's #1 fan. Them and Merciful Fate were really as heavy as it got. Merciful Fate being so dark, the Melissa album, and the EP as well. Let's get back to this Slayer. Sometimes I'm going to drift like this because I go off. But what I'm talking about is with Venom. I remember listening to At War with Satan on my bed. Actually, it wasn't At War with Satan. It was the EP, Seven Gates of Hell, which had Warhead on it. Maybe it was the Warhead EP. It was a 12-inch. That's all I remember. But I remember laying there, huge Venom fan. I had Black Metal, the very first one, of course, Welcome to Hell. And just sitting there and going, man, it's over, brother. What now? You can't get any heavier than Venom, and you really couldn't. Until, of course, you know, bands like Hellhammer came along, Bathory, Possessed, Slayer. Now, when I heard this Slayer album, I just fell in love with it. I don't know why. Like I said, I was a Venom fan, I was Merciful Fate. Well, I guess the reason why is it's great. It's awesome. It is heavy as hell. I used to sing along with it, and I still do to this day. Some 20, 30 years later. Whatever the heck it is, I don't even want to think about it. For many years, this was the album that I always would tell people, if I was stuck on a desert island, and I could only have one album, what would it be? I'd pick this forever. Would I still take it now? Well, if I got stranded with it, I wouldn't be complaining. Do I really know now if this is the one I would take? That's really tough. There's so much music that I love. So for me right now, I'm not even going to name that one. Maybe that's a later show where I'll finally come out and choose an album that really means that maybe it will be this album, simply because it will always bring me back. What's great about music, I heard, as pitiful as this is, I seen it from a Rolling Stone, Keith Richards, said that what was great about music is obviously for the old, it brings back memories, and for the young, you know, they discover it, and that's the beauty of it. Isn't that the truth? But like I'm always going to kind of try to capture the pride that I have of having loved this album at a time when no one liked it. Well, people did, but you know what I mean. It was very underground at the time. There was no internet. It was either you found Slayer in a zine, and if you were lucky, there'd be a picture this big with a small hand-typed interview with them, which was awesome to find. You would be stoked, all in black and white. Just to be, just all these years later, they're legends now, obviously. Metallica, Megadeth, Exodus, Bathory, Possessed, on and on. Bands that are now legends, in stone, forever. The music lives forever. I remember meeting some guys when I lived in California back in like 1997, and they were Slayer fans, huge Slayer fans. And I would say to them, what's your favorite Slayer album? Because at the time I was still pushing this one, which I still feel, you know, it's a tough choice. This or Hell Awaits, and then even Rain and Blood fits in there. But Rain and Blood is such a masterpiece unto its own. It's almost separate and out of the conversation. It's a very short album too, isn't it? As far as time. But this album here, man, if you don't have this, if you're a young kid getting into Slayer and you're into the new stuff, you really got to go back. Go all the way back. Start at the beginning. Get Show No Mercy. Start there. Fall in love with this. Then graduate to Hell Awaits. And see how, you know, the big adjustment. Because literally there is a huge adjustment. This stuff is... Each release was such a stepping stone to Rain and Blood. Those 3 albums right there, as far as I'm concerned, that's it for Slayer. That's their masterpiece. Now, of course, they're amazing musicians, and I'm not putting down anything that they've done since. But, you know, I'm stubborn. I'm an old animal. I'm going to stick with what I love. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? But time has proven that I'm correct about the stuff that I love. And this being one, let's go over the tracks real quick. The song at the time that I fell in love with very first, the song that I always wanted to play was Die by the Sword, because I love that slow down, watch your flowers decay. That is so heavy, and the guitars are just crunching. And that's what I wanted at the time. Metallica, Kill 'Em All. When that stuff came out, you know, the closest crunch we'd heard to that prior was maybe some Motorhead, which is still kind of a tinny guitar sound, or Motley Crue, actually, that, like Come On and Dance off Too Fast for Love, has a very crunchy guitar tone. And that's, as a kid, that is what I always wanted to hear. I loved crunch. And Die by the Sword, that break in the middle there, you know, watch flowers decay, and then whatever the hell else he says. That is so heavy. And then, of course, the Antichrist. Love it. Eternally My Soul Will Rot. I used to be able to do that high perfectly. Can't even attempt it. Won't even embarrass myself. I literally can't even do it. I don't know if it's just old, obviously it's old age, but either that or there's some kind of hesitation to go into it. That's a hell of a scream. I used to be able to do it. I always loved that. Eternally My Soul Will Rot. Then he hits that high one. Fight to Death, love it. Fight to Death. I have a young daughter. We listened to this album earlier. Every song. Final Command, Show No Mercy. You know, this is a great album too. You know, that I picked up. I've been hunting for a really clean copy of this, because that's what I've been doing. I've been going out and buying Kill 'Em All. You know, just the classics. I'd like to get them. And I've been hunting a few years now on eBay, just missing ones, and they weren't perfect enough, but I seen this, I'll buy it now last week. It's still in the shrink wrap. Very first release with no barcode. And I just noticed it's got that Chronics on there, which I think was an extra song, I'm not sure. And I don't know if it originally was on the release. But man, I tell you, the vinyl is beautiful. I got the lyric sheet. I mean, the vinyl was really something else. There's a little corner crease right down in here that's been bent, but other than that, still in the shrink. Can't complain. And now I have it for my private collection. You know, I always, as well, if you've looked at any of my other videos, I buy and sell junk and antiques for a living, and I'm always out hunting treasures now. There's a whole new market in this, obviously. And it's an investment to go out and buy this stuff. But whatever the case, Slayer, Show No Mercy, a must-have if you're a metalhead. Get it. Heavy. Listen to that right there. Lombardo. You know, I seen Slayer at First Avenue on the Rain and Blood tour. Overkill opened for him. Amazing. I got pictures with him, too. When Kerry King still had hair and when I still had hair. Amazing. Just seeing it that close up. Huge. Slayer was always my favorite band. And to this day, no matter where I'm walking, I'll say, just out of the blue, you know, it's probably almost an obsessive-compulsive thing. I'll say Slayer. I'll respond to people, Slayer. They don't know what the hell I'm thinking about. Anyway, Metal Mike, Show No Mercy, got to get the hand clap in there. Go out and get it.